The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of ECTV or any entities they represent.
This week on Voice of the People, Community Access, our guest is Lee Morgan.
Hello, Scrantonians and people of the county. Lee Morgan. We're on episode 7, so we're just working our way through the city, trying to highlight certain things in my past in this city and a lot of the residents. And today I determined that we talk about nonprofits and we talk about revitalization. And at one time, Barthol's store was here, gee whiz, 55 years ago. And then over here, we had, I think it was Suma's. I think the gentleman's name was John. He took care of the park down here at Chick Feldman Field. And as children, we'd come here and we'd work the diamond so that, you know, the dirt would be loose for the people who were going to play ball. There were ducks down there, and, you know, it was just a nice place to be. It was very enjoyable. The neighborhood has changed considerably. And that's why I want to talk about community development and grant money. Because when I was a child, this whole city was totally different. You can't compare it to today because the city is extremely run down, extremely blighted, and mismanaged. And I'm not here to browbeat the current mayor, but we're spending the grant money the wrong way. We're chasing blight. And what we do is we fix it up a little bit and it moves somewhere else, because the thing we're missing here is jobs. I talked about a small business incubator a long time ago at council, and I highlighted the thing that they call a small business incubator in the downtown, which, believe me, it is not. So as a child, we'd come here. There's a little mill behind us on Sanderson Avenue on the left. It was a sewing mill. There were quite a few people employed there. And then you go down the road a little bit, and you turn left at the Tops plant, and Johnny Fabric was there. There were tons of people working there. Across the street was R.C. Cole, I believe it was. Okay, on Kapaus there was Linder Brothers. There was AAA Trouser. You know, our big problem, and the country's too, is that we've exported all our jobs. And we're just trying to put new curtains on the windows when all we have is just poverty in this country. And we're under such a horrendous tax burden, you know, and it's something's got to stop. Now, when you look at this, because the Scranton Times printed it in their newspaper about the grant money that's coming here and how the mayor is going to spend it, and it goes through 2 nonprofits in order to be utilized. And my question is, you know, why are nonprofits involved in this? I think elected officials should be running these projects. And how much money are we spending? And how much of it is actually getting to the project? You know, we've got a lot of problems here. I went to John Adams School up here. Jimmy Pethick used to live in that house there on the corner. All the kids played here. We all got along. There were all kinds of people in this neighborhood at that time. Not just any certain kind, it was a mixing pot. But you know something? There was work here, and people were making money. And not only were they making money, but when they worked in these factories, they had outings together. I think we've lost sight of what we have to do as a community to be successful. We have to create employment centers so that when these children graduate from high school, they have a job to go to. We've got to stop worrying about whether the Chinese have a job, whether the Koreans have a job, whether the Mexicans have a job. All right, we've got to stop worrying if we can let everybody come across our border they don't even need a reason to come. Just come and we'll give you a cell phone, we'll give you money, when we've got people in our own country in poverty, below poverty. And we've got to do something about it. And it's time for the mayor, all right, to come out and speak to the residents of this city and explain to us and elected officials, okay, why is grant money coming through nonprofits? And why do we keep funding projects from one neighborhood to another, chasing blight around the city, when the real problem is a lack of employment? Okay? I mean, somebody's got to make a change. And in the Home Rule Charter, we can do that. because what we can do in the charter is we can sit that group of Scrantonians down and decide where that grant money is going, tell the coordinators that we want funding to create employment centers in the city of Scranton. And the one thing that this city has going for it that no other city in Pennsylvania has is we're the only Class 2A city in Pennsylvania. So why can't we become a pilot program for revitalization in the labor market? Let's see if we can come up with ideas that will work here and then transform the whole Commonwealth and start bringing jobs back to America, employing Americans, making the standard of living for children in our community much better. I think we've got our eyes in the wrong place. I think we're worried about other countries instead of our own people, and it's a real problem. Sure, America wants to help other people, but you know what? We've got to help our own people first. We've got to stop overtaxing seniors and forcing them out of their homes. All right, we've got to make it possible that we have a dynamic employment base so that people can move up through employment into better positions, making more money, because employment will reduce blight and eliminate it. When people have money, they invest in their home and in their community. And it doesn't matter who these people are. That's what they're going to do. So what we got to do is we've got to talk to the people in the state representatives, the state senators, because this is a conduit. And in my opinion, they use the nonprofits to gather them votes in elections, okay, and to be their foot soldiers on the ground, okay? But my question is, who's our foot soldier? You don't see any civil rights people coming forward anymore because they're gone, all right? And the church has been sidelined, and we've just overtaxed the people to the place where they can't sustain the burden anymore. And I'd hope that the producer here will send a drone over the city and show all the residents, the younger residents, where Linder Brothers was, where AAA Trouser was, where Jaunty Fabric was, this plant behind me, and others. There were more here. There were some going all the way up Capous Avenue, just tiny little sewing mills where, women worked when their children were old enough to be at home on their own, and the husbands were out working. So they were both working 2 jobs to be successful, just like now. But we've got to return that stability back to this community. And spending all this grant money, whether you're going to Southside and then you're coming here, but where's the grant money going next? But it's not solving the problem. You're just moving blight from one place to another. So I hope Scrantonians would understand that you have an opportunity to make changes by asking the mayor and the council to put the home rule charter on the ballot and empower people to make smart decisions so that our community can thrive again. Thank you.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of ECTV or any entities they represent.